You are chosen to be the mirror. Not a mirror of vanity, not a mirror of pride, but a mirror of truth. A mirror that does not lie. A mirror that stands firm in the room and simply reflects what already exists. You are placed in their life not to fix them, not to carry them, not to be broken by them, but to hold up a reflection they could not face on their own. You became the living, breathing reminder of the love they could not accept, the kindness they could not give, and the honesty they were afraid to see. You were not chosen because you were weak. You were chosen because your heart was strong enough to stand in front of someone who would rather break the mirror than see their own cracks. It is no small thing to be chosen for this. It is no easy task to love when met with coldness, to forgive when met with arrogance, to show patience when met with manipulation. God placed you there to reveal, to awaken, to shine a light on the corners they would rather keep in darkness. You did not stumble into their life by accident. You were sent with purpose, sent with fire in your spirit and gentleness in your hands, sent to hold up that sacred glass and show them what they could not show themselves. But remember, a mirror does not change the face. It reflects. A mirror does not adjust the features, does not soften harsh lines, does not hide the damage. A mirror only shows. And sometimes the truth that a mirror shows is too sharp for some to handle. They will attack the mirror. They will despise the mirror. They will try to cover the mirror, silence it, crack it, shatter it, until they are left only with fragments of what you once were. But even in pieces, the mirror reflects. Even when bruised, even when chipped, the mirror keeps showing the truth. And the truth, though it may cut, is always sacred. You were the reminder of what was real. You were the glimpse of the life they could have lived if they had chosen love, humility, and growth. You were the echo of the lessons they refused to learn. You were the living proof that kindness still exists in this world. And though they may not have valued it, though they may have turned away from it, though they may have tried to destroy it, you still stood because you are not just the mirror for them. You were the mirror for yourself. Through this fire, you saw your own strength. Through this storm, you discovered your own worth. Through their rejection, you found your own acceptance. And while they saw the mirror and turned away, you looked into the mirror and finally saw who you truly are. Your pain was meant to awaken your power. It was not placed on you to crush you, though it surely pressed you. It was not meant to burn you to ashes, though you surely walked through flames. It was sent to stir something deep inside you that comfort and ease could never reach. There are gifts that only appear when the soul has been hurt, when the spirit has been stretched, when the heart has been tested in ways that seem almost unfair. You may have thought the pain was a punishment, but pain has a way of introducing you to yourself. Pain removes the masks, the pretenses, the softness you wear to make others comfortable. It does not ask for permission. It comes with sharp edges and loud lessons. And yet within it there is a strange invitation, an invitation to rise. There are places in you that only hardship can unlock. There is a roar inside you that only betrayal can awaken. There is a strength that only shows itself when you are standing on ground that feels like it is crumbling beneath your feet. That pain you felt, that ache in your chest, when you realized someone you trusted was not who they seemed to be, that was the beginning of your rising, the beginning of your awakening. It may have felt like an ending, but it was the cracking open of the shell you had outgrown. God does not send you into the fire to burn you without reason. He sends you into the fire to shape you. He sends you into the storm so you can learn to anchor yourself. He sends you into the desert so you can remember where your true water comes from. There is power in you that you never would have met if you had stayed in the garden. There is a fire in your eyes that you never would have noticed if you had always been treated gently. You were called to walk through that valley, Not to stay, not to remain in the shadow, but to keep moving, to keep learning, to discover how much weight your spirit could carry. Every tear you cried watered the seeds of the person you are becoming. Every sleepless night shaped your patience, carved your wisdom, and built a home for the strength that would soon visit you. The pain was not a thief. It did not come to steal from you. It came to introduce you to a version of yourself you did not yet know. It came to remove the layers that no longer served you. It came to push you past the places where you had accepted less than you deserved. You see, power does not always arrive wrapped in beauty. Sometimes it comes through suffering. Sometimes it comes through heartbreak. Sometimes it comes through the silence after someone leaves. But it always comes. It rises from the ashes. It gathers from the ruins. It builds quietly when you are too tired to notice. And one day, without realizing when it happened, you find yourself standing taller, speaking louder, loving wiser, and living freer. All because the pain did its work. You were sent to break cycles in your family. You did not come into this world only to repeat what had always been done. You were not born to carry the weight of patterns that harmed, silenced, or dimmed the light of those who came before you. You were placed here to see what others refused to notice, to speak what others were too afraid to say, to stand where others chose to kneel. Some chains have rattled through families for generations. Some unspoken rules traveled through bloodlines like old songs no one questioned. You heard the same tune, but something in your bones refused to dance to it. You saw the same patterns, but something in your spirit would not let you follow them blindly. You felt the same pain, but something in your soul refused to pass it down. You were not the first to feel it, but you were the first to say, "It stops with me." There is a sacred strength in being chosen as the cycle breaker. It is a lonely road. Sometimes the weight of old stories tries to rest on your shoulders. The pull of what is familiar tries to call you back. You feel the ache of being misunderstood by the very people you are trying to free. They may not see it yet, but you are carrying a torch that will light paths for those who come after you. You are cutting through thorns so their feet will not bleed as yours have. You are choosing the hard road, so they may know an easier one. And though they may resist, though they may push against the change you bring, your soul knows the truth. You were sent to shift the story. Sometimes the battles you face did not start with you. Sometimes the burdens you carry were handed to you by hands that did not know how to hold them. Sometimes the pain you feel was passed through generations like an old photograph, worn and faded but still present. You are not carrying it because you deserve to suffer. You are carrying it because you are strong enough to lay it down. You are strong enough to question the silence, strong enough to face what others buried, strong enough to heal what others ignored. There is courage in your voice. There is power in your refusal. There is beauty in your choice to rewrite the story. You were not sent to punish or to blame. You were sent to awaken. You were sent to choose something better. You were sent to break what needed breaking, to heal what needed healing, to love in a way that leaves no scars. The cycles you are breaking may not be visible to all, but the freedom that comes after will be felt for generations. Those who come after may never know your name, but they will walk lighter because you chose to carry what they could not. You were sent to bear the weight so others would not have to. You were sent to unlearn what was never love. You were sent to choose differently. You were sent to be the one who finally says no more. Your compassion was a lesson, even if they never learned it. Love is never wasted. Kindness never falls unnoticed, even when met with silence, dismissal, or cold eyes that refuse to soften. You may have poured your heart out, offered gentleness when met with harshness, extended patience when you had every right to walk away, and still they did not accept it. Still they did not change. Still they did not say thank you. But compassion does not need applause. It does not wait for recognition. It does not depend on whether it is returned. Compassion flows because it is who you are. It is the river that keeps moving even when rocks try to block its path. Some will take your kindness and try to use it. Some will mistake your mercy for weakness. They will test your limits. They will drink from the well of your goodness, but offer nothing in return. And still you loved. Still you gave. Still you showed up with open hands and a tender heart. The lesson was not just for them. The lesson was for you. You were shown the depth of your heart. You were shown how vast your soul could be. You learned that compassion is not about changing others, but refusing to let their cruelty change you. Your compassion planted seeds whether they watered them or not. Maybe they turned away. Maybe they laughed at your softness. Maybe they pushed you aside like a fleeting thought. But every act of kindness has life of its own. Every moment of patience continues, even if it seems to vanish. The compassion you gave will echo in rooms you may never enter. It will soften walls you may never see fall. It will visit them in quiet moments when pride finally fades. They may not admit it, but they will remember you. They will remember the one who stayed kind when it would have been easier to grow cold. They will remember the one who listened when everyone else turned away. They will remember the one who held out a hand when they had given nothing. Even if they never acknowledge it, your compassion was still holy. It was a light in their darkness, even if they chose to close their eyes. And the beauty of compassion is that it heals you as you give it. It teaches you about yourself. It shows your softness is not a flaw. It shows that love is your strength, not your weakness. You were not naive for loving. You were not foolish for caring. You were the lesson, the living example, the glimpse of what love could have looked like if they had been ready. God used this to teach you boundaries and self-worth. Sometimes we think love means saying yes. Compassion means staying. Patience means allowing ourselves to be stretched until we lose ourselves. But life brings us to the edge, to the breaking point, to the place where walls we never built collapse, and we see we must draw the line. You were not placed in their life to be an open door, not to be a resting place for their harm, not to shrink yourself to fit their world. You were sent there to learn where your no belongs, to learn where your heart must be guarded, to learn that peace is not borrowed, but something you fiercely protect. Boundaries are not walls to keep love out. They are gates that let the right love in. They are fences that keep your soul safe. They are sacred lines that tell the world, I will not be touched in this way. I will not be spoken to this way. I will not be treated as less. You may have been taught that boundaries are cruel, that saying no is selfish, that turning away is betrayal. But God knew you needed to unlearn that. God knew you needed to see that your worth is not measured by how much you endure, but by how boldly you walk away from what does not honor you. There were moments when you stayed too long, bent too far, gave so much of yourself you could hardly hear your own voice over the noise of their demands. And still, God was patient with you. God waited for you to see it, waiting for you to wake up to the ache that whispered, this is not love. Waiting for you to realize that the constant shrinking, the constant pleasing, the constant sacrificing was not a calling, but a cage. You are sent to learn that love without respect is not love. Compassion without safety is not compassion. Giving without boundaries is not giving. It is losing. There is power in knowing where you end and where others begin. There is beauty in choosing to honor your heart as much as you honor others. There is wisdom in realizing you are not required to carry every burden, answer every call, heal every wound that was never yours to heal. God used this to teach you your worth is not negotiable. It is not up for debate. It does not rise and fall depending on who accepts you or walks away. You were not created to be a place where people leave brokenness and never return. You were created to be whole, free, to walk with dignity. Those who could not see your worth taught you to see it yourself. Those who pushed against your boundaries taught you to build them higher. Guard them stronger, love yourself deeper. God allowed it not to destroy you, but to return you to yourself. You were never meant to stay forever. There are places to visit, not to settle. People you pass through, not to live among. Seasons that held you tightly, but time was always meant to end. Sometimes we hold on longer than we should. Believing presence can change what was never ours to carry. Believing love can heal what refuses healing. Believing patience can soften what chooses to remain hard. Some roads are not yours to walk forever. Some doors are not yours to keep open. Some hearts are not yours to call home. There is a quiet H in leaving, a trembling in the hands as you let go, a breaking when you realize you poured yourself into a place meant only to teach, not keep. You may have believed the connection permanent. You may have wrapped your soul around the idea of rest, but not every encounter lasts. Some people are teachers disguised as lovers. Some situations are lessons disguised as opportunities. God sometimes sends you into a storm not to stay, but to walk through, gather what you need, and move on. It is not easy to release what you prayed for, what you sacrificed for, what you fought to keep. It is not easy to look at cracks and damage and admit your season is finished. But God does not call you to cling to what cost your peace. God does not call you to stay in places where your spirit shrinks, where your worth is forgotten, where kindness is consumed and never returned. There is courage in leaving, wisdom in knowing when to set something down, strength in walking away with head held high, even when the heart is heavy. You were not created to save everyone. You were not created to hold broken things until your hands bleed. You were created to grow, move, heal, rise. Some chapters must close for the story to continue. Some doors must be shut for your feet to find new ground. Sometimes you are sent into someone's life not to stay, not to fix, not to answer, but to plant a seed, offer a glimpse of love, leave a trace of what could have been. Your impact is not less because you chose to leave. Your love is not diminished because you chose yourself. Your purpose is not abandoned because you walked away. Seasons shift, tides change, sun rises in new places. You are allowed to follow your soul, to honor whispers that tell you your time has passed. You were sent to bless, teach, grow, and be grown. You were sent to awaken and be awakened. When the lesson is complete, when the air feels tight, when peace no longer lives, you are allowed to go. You were never meant to stay forever.